Hello, this is Mariam Rashid, and I would like to share in this video the communication board me and my partner Aisha Raza have created. The communication board is for a grade 1 student Clayton Evans. He is 7 years old and has Down syndrome. Clayton functions at the age of a 4 to 5-year-old in receptive language skills and is primarily nonverbal. He can communicate through pointing at pictures, gesturing, and can say 5 words. However, they cannot be understood by any unfamiliar listeners. As a part of the school team, me and my partner are to create were to create an adaptive program for him in which he can use an argumentative system to communicate and participate in his class. His mother, Clayton's mother, Mrs. Evan, is concerned that Clayton is not engaged well in his class and that he only sits with his EA and does separate work. The main concern for his EA, his teacher, and Mrs. Evan, his mother, is whether Clayton can participate in regular grade 1 program using his ACC. The activity we have created is based on the curriculum of grade 1, and the subtask states that by the end of grade 1, students will demonstrate an understanding of how being active helps them to be healthy and both physically and mentally. The description of our activity. To engage Clayton, according to our biggest concern, is that work, he must be involved in his classroom. So the best way to do this would be to have him work and engage with his peers. This requires an activity that can be done in a group setting rather than in a whole class or individually. This activity will allow Clayton to use his communication board to complete the task, but also allow Clayton to complete the job without using it. The activity requires a chart paper divided into two. Each group will get a chart and a basket of cards. These cards will have different activities, foods that are either healthy or unhealthy. Further, they will be the description of opportunities for Clayton's participation. The educator will So before introducing this new activity, the educator will then tell the benefits of being active to the students. The educator will discuss with students that if they choose to be active, it will help them physically and mentally. The teacher will ask questions to the students. What does it mean to be physically healthy? How can students be active? What can help them to be healthy? Why do we need to eat healthy food? Or how can we be healthy? Clayton can then use the communication board to answer these questions when the teacher asks these questions. So, for say the teacher asks, what are some activities that you can be healthy with? Here in blue, we have identified on Clayton's board. The active and healthy activities are grouped by the color blue, such as health, wearing a face mask, swimming. So when Clayton is asked, can he define one activity that is healthy for him? He could say walking, or one food that is good for him. He would say fruit or vegetables. Whereas the teacher can ask the students to give examples of active and non-active lifestyles. Students will raise their hands to answer, and Clayton will do the same and answer through his communication board. Next, the teacher can show some cards to students to differentiate if it's an active or non-active lifestyle. The same pictures will be available on Clayton's communication board, and if he and he will present the answers on his communication board. Next, the teachers will show a communication card, for example, of being physically and mentally healthy. Again, students will raise their hands, and Clayton and the other students will answer with a yes or no. Clayton can use the yes or no option on his communication board. What can Clayton achieve by this activity? With this activity, Clayton will learn that by adopting a healthy lifestyle, he will be fit and active physically and mentally. He can differentiate between the active and non-active lifestyles. He will know how to explain what is physical and mental health. This activity will allow him to participate in class as he will answer his teacher's questions through his communication board. This activity will encourage him to communicate and boost his confidence to be an active participant in class, eventually developing his coordinating skills in a social environment. Participation with his communication board. With the help of his communication board, Clayton will generate sentences to answer. He can also use one word to communicate, such as no, yes, and no. Over here on the second page of his communication board, we have added one word fringe phrases such as yummy, help, finish, like, bad, or we can say confused, understand. There is also thumbs up, dirty. The types of responses we're looking from Clayton. He might make single worded responses or sentences when the teacher asks different questions. For example, if the teacher shows a card which shows a picture of a lazy boy, the teacher can ask the students if he is feeling active, and Clayton can respond through the single word no on his communication board. Or the teacher can ask, does swimming make you physically healthy? And he can use his communication board to point to the word yes. Our role in Clayton's success. By providing him with enough opportunities to participate in the activity, it is it is also vital to provide him with some time to respond correctly. If he answers correctly, it will give him more confidence to be an active participant in the class. He will repeat we can repeat the teacher's instructions if he needs help understanding what she is asking. If he asks, we will also explain to him what she was describing in the activity repeatedly. In case he needs help to achieve his goal, we can help by repeating the instructions to him. We can be mindful of our word selection so that Clayton will maintain his attention and focus. We can also help him if he finds difficulty using his communication boards. We will repeat the instructions and questions of the teachers as well.